Hey everybody, my name is Gio Perez and welcome to another episode of Martial Arts Talk. And I have Steven Reich here with me. He's the host of Martial Media Review. Check him out, by the way. And today we're going to be discussing, is the breaking up of Hapkido good or bad for Hapkido, or should one system rule them all? What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, well, it's, kind of set the stage for Hapkido here.
Right.
Basically, what happened with Hapkido is, after Choi Young-sul taught a bunch of students, a lot of those students started their own Hapkido systems, as opposed to just succeeding him. There are those who succeeded him, but there are also some that broke off, started other systems. Some of them became quite large organizations with a lot of followers.
Right.
And, a lot of them started systems. And at this point, there might be a dozen different, I don't even know if, maybe I'm exaggerating, but there's at least 6, 10, I don't know how many systems there are right now.
There's a lot of different systems.
Combat, IHF, World Hapkido Association. I mean, there's a lot of different
the Korean
flavors.
Hapkido Federation and everything, yeah.
And all of them have top guys in their organizations heading their Hapkido systems.
And they're all different. I mean, there's systems that have katas. There's other systems that don't have katas at all. There's some systems that have certain forms of breathing and some other forms that we don't even know about. I mean, I spoke to this one guy that he follows me on Instagram, and I follow him too. He's good, actually, at Hapkido. And I talked to him, and I was doing a form on one of my videos. I was doing circular motion. And I said, you guys don't do that? It's like, no. It's like, this is circular motion. You know how we have, there's 3 principles of Hapkido. We have circular motion, flowing water, and the sum. And for each of those things, we actually have a form for them, a movement.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. So I was like, oh, okay. But it's just a different system. I mean,
Well, that's because our Hapkido system was, he learned from a guy who also founded a couple of other systems, one of which was called Hankido, which incorporated a lot of those circular motion and those 3 principles, exactly the way we learned them.
Right.
But he also is the head of the IHF, that International Hapkido Federation. Therefore, he's also Hapkido. So what we learned was probably just kind of a little bit of a blended. I mean, I'm sure if you're learning from a guy who founded 3 different martial arts systems, you're probably going to get like a blend in your training, even if no matter what he's calling it. It's gonna blend. It
was a beautiful form. I mean, it's suave. It resembles. I mean, Hapkido and Aikido, they resemble the same thing. I mean, they're from the same teacher.
Right.
Yeah. So in reality, they say that Hapkido is the sister, but I think it's actually the brother. Aikido is the sister.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these systems, I read a forum where they were talking about how Choi Young-sul Hapkido, straight, pure, from the source Hapkido, if you will, is kind of the meat and potatoes of Hapkido, but doesn't always incorporate as many high kicks. And a lot of these other variations of Hapkido have kind of made adjustments to include more, to make it a little more broader, a little more, so they're, like, oh, we'll add this to it and that to it to make it a better system.
Right. The question is, can you go back and actually talk to all these organizations and create one system to be able to learn that
is it going to be possible?
Is it going to be possible? Because
is it too late? Because I don't see whatever amount of systems there are now. That's not it. They're adding more. There are other masters in Hapkido that, for one reason or another, they're not trying to, follow this guy's or that guy's path. They want to start their own path. So they add a little something or other to their curriculum. They adjust the name ever so slightly.
Right.
And now they're the founder of a Hapkido.
I mean, I was calling Hapkido. I mean, Hapkido to me, I think, is the original mixed martial arts. Well, to me,
it certainly is becoming
because So to me, it was the original mixed martial arts because you had this guy, practicing a Japanese art, came down and you mixed it up with some Korean kicking and punching, and now our master goes in and he practices a little bit of boxing and incorporates that, and then I come in and I'm starting to teach a little bit of Thai blocking, Thai kicking.
Right.
You know, so you and then you get some other guys who incorporate a little bit of the ground fighting. And I think Combat Hapkido is doing that, where they're incorporating a lot of the ground fighting. So it's kind of mixing, So it's no longer. I mean, you're still calling it Hapkido. So they're keeping the name, but is it actually the Choi Hapkido?
I think,
and a lot of people say that Choi is not. He was not calling it Hapkido. It was actually Jihan J who started calling it Hapkido. That's a little argument there.
To be fair, I've only heard that from Jihan J, or students or followers of Jihan J are the ones who all insist that Jihan J is the one who coined the phrase Hapkido, and Choi Young-sul called it something else. I believe Yawara or something like that. That's what Jihan J learned from him, and Jihan J took what he learned from him and added his own and created Hapkido. So that's what I read from that perspective. But then there's a lot of other people who stayed with Choi, through to his passing, and they insist that's real Hapkido, and it was Hapkido all along, and it was never called anything else.
Right. Now, let's go back again to actually figure out, is it good or bad to have a system?
You mean one system?
Yeah, one system. I think it would have been really good, to have one system, because we would have a higher, populated organization where we could actually, you could go to any school and it'll be the same thing. Same form, same number of techniques, same this. And it's kind of like if you walk into a Taekwondo school or a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu school, you go in and they call the same things, they call them the same things, and you're just practicing the same things. You're still following the same curriculum, what they're learning. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been good.
I think it would be good if, look, again, in a perfect world, I think it would be great if it was like W.T.F. style Taekwondo, where, there's a headquarters in Seoul, Korea, the Kukiwon, that all schools kind of have to answer to. And that's where they kind of commune and discuss the curriculum and tweak it as a committee. Right. And that trickles down to all of the other schools as, it's like this is the new,
Well, I think...
Because I remember when I was learning Taekwondo, at one point I had to change the forms. I was learning these Palge forms, and the cookie one changed it to Taeguk. Right. And I had to start learning Taeguk because the cookie... So if all these masters of Hapkido instead just kind of formed some sort of committee that answered to create one system, right? Might be, that would be really cool.
I think it would have been very beneficial.
I think it's too late, though.
I think it's too late, but I think it would have been beneficial to every student that's walking into a Hapkido school. Yeah. So now you see a lot of different masters. I guess they didn't agree on certain things. They all branched out. They did their own thing. They did their own federations.
Well, all these other systems came from this one system, this one source, this broad thing. And they've made it even broader because all these guys keep adding techniques and fine-tuning it and making, which I don't know. In theory, it sounds nice. There is an awful lot of politics with these guys, though. Yeah. They're not so interested in making Hapkido better as I think they're interested in being the top guy. Right. Like they want to be the head of it more than they want to improve Hapkido. But that's on a level so beyond mine that like, I really feel any of these masters could teach me and make me an amazing martial artist at the end of the day. Right. So, I suppose if, any of these schools are probably great schools to learn from, but there's something really nice about being able to walk into any Hapkido school and be able to follow right along, stay right where you were at your studio. You're there at this one.
And it will. I think if you go to any Hapkido school, depends where, if whatever you walk into.
Makes it nice and clean.
Yeah, it's clean. But right now, let's say if I were to walk to a different Hapkido school, different system, I would see the same techniques that I've already practiced that I know. They would just be called differently or be in a different structure, or use them.
Different philosophies.
Yeah, different philosophies.
But the same technique.
But the same technique. So, I mean, do I think it would have been good to have a system? Yes, I think yes. I love Hapkido. I mean, I wish I could, run to each of these masters and, and teach me everything that I'm missing, and I think that would be important. That would be kind of important. That's what I'm saying. It would be good because you would have a head of all these masters together in a table and be able to pick their brain, and you can't do that. You have to go to each one, and actually try to pick their brain to see what you learn or what you get. But
and truly make it better,
right.
And where I'm sure there's tons of redundancy between those other systems, but just like truly, tweak it and whittle it down to the leanest, best, most effective version of Hapkido and everybody's learning it.
Right, right. And now once you get to a higher level, be able to get more knowledge from all these guys all together. That would have been great.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but there's nothing more frustrating than walking in as a black belt in Hapkido to a different Hapkido school and not be able to follow along. Because you're it's just like, wait, I supposedly learned this too. Why can't I, and it's like, well, we're this version of Hapkido. We focus on this, and this. And it's just it gets a little frustrating.
It does.
Because you want to be able to, you've been invited to train there. You train at a lot of other people's schools,
Right. But what it is, having that system is that you have the same vocabulary.
Yeah.
You have the same language, same, symbol, same everything, and not being able to split up and you have one symbol, this other guy has another symbol. This means something else, And no, that I think it would have been awesome to have one system.
Yeah, one universal Hapkido.
One universal Hapkido. I love all the masters out there that might be watching this that practice Hapkido. I love you guys. If you have anything to say, comment below.
Please make this happen.
Yes, make it happen. I can't do it. I'm in the bottom here. Yeah. Yes, I would love you guys to, create an awesome system.
Or maybe just call it something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at least Kukso-wan is Kukso-wan. It's so similar to Hapkido, as similar as some of these other Hapkido systems are to each other.
Right.
But it's Kukso-wan,
Yeah. So anyway, comment down below, you guys. My name again is Gio Perez. This is Steven Reich. And where can they find you, Steven?
You can find me at Likewater Productions on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
You can find me at LAMA Talk on Facebook, or you could also look for me at LAMArtial Arts on Instagram, and or you could email me. My email is lamartialart@gmail.com. So I want to thank you for watching this. Please comment below. Yeah. I know this, this conversation might strike controversy, but anyway,
but we want to hear what you have to
say. I think
agree or disagree. We want to know what you think.
Is it just us thinking this, or do you have thoughts about it yourself? Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks. Take care.